Welcome back to Buhari 365 days in office. Don't forget you could hashtag that, or you could also tweet at us using any of the Twitter handles you've seen on the screen. We're turning our attention now to security, and we've got with us on my immediate left is Professor Charles Adisa, who is a professor of surgery and surgical oncologist at Abia State University. He's also a security research analyst. And then we have on my far left, Colonel Wilson Ijide. He's retired. He's also a doctor. He's an industrial organizational psychologist. He's a lecturer, Department of Psychology, University of Ibadan. Thank you for coming this morning. This government did anchor on a tripod, the security being one of them. We've seen some of the programs he spoke about while he delivered his inaugural speech. He did make some specific decisions there at the time, including moving the Command and Control Center to Borno, among so many. But let's look at where we've gone so far. Let's start with you, Doctor. Tell us, do you think that, having seen the plans and the programs they've executed in terms of either the JTF or moving the Command and Control Center and the results they say they've gotten, where do you think we are at the moment in terms of an assessment?
Thank you, Chabalin, and thank you, viewers. I would like to say that in terms of assessment of what we have achieved over the 100 days or 1 year of this administration, it's a very difficult one to dabble into. Why do I say so? Because it requires a professional assessment, not a political assessment. And by that I mean that, nation building is a continuous process. If you are running a race, or like a relay race, somebody starts with the baton and hands over to the other. So your success at the end of that race will be dependent on the people that had handed over to you. So I want to look at it from that angle. Like you rightly said, we need to establish a parameter to be able to assess this, the achievements that have been recorded, so that we can attribute these achievements as to whether they are progress of strategy or they are consequential on what I can call a progressive implementation or conduct of the operations. This is what I mean. We have a distinction between cause and effect relationship or analysis, as well as a correlational analysis. Before you can attribute a cause to an effect, it has to be properly linked. Otherwise, you can have a situation where you can record successes, but they are not actually a direct result of whatever you put in place. The point is this. One of the greatest research that has demonstrated this is the Houghton studies by Spielberger in the Western Electrical Plant. What happened was that in that study, a lot of changes were brought into the production line, and production improved. Lightings were reduced, production improved. Noise level was reduced, production improved. Everything was attributed to that research. But here comes an interesting aspect of it. Even when all of these rest pauses, light, pause, and all these things were varied or were removed, it was discovered that production also improved. So that is very crucial to assessment of achievement in the security sector. That is where I'm coming from.
Okay. Prof, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I represent the Nigeria Christian Graduate Fellowship. It's a Christian organization that has this motto, saved to serve. And we believe that we're saved by Christ Jesus, and we're to serve God and to serve humanity. And part of that service includes interacting with key policymakers so that we can offer genuine and godly solutions to national issues. And that is why I am here today. With regards to the issue of security, I'll look at it in, I'll use 7 different scenarios. The Boko Haram, the Fulani Herdsmen, the fight between the Sunnis and the Shiite, or let me say the Shiite and the soldiers, the Niger Delta militancy, the independent people of Biafra, and kidnapping and hostage taking for ransom all over the country.
Seems to be a full plate.
It's multifaceted. On the first count, Boko Haram, I will commend the government that whatever we attribute it to, they have achieved 60% reduction in death. In 2014, 2015, before the present administration came in, over 7,000 deaths were attributed to Boko Haram. Currently, during the first year of Buhari's administration, it has dropped to 2,500, which is about 60% reduction. So we'll give them a plus. To rescue at least one person among the Chibok girl is a plus, because it gives us hope that the others, we might be able to get them. Not just that, getting one of the terrorists life is an asset, both for security and also for the image of the country, the way we treat our prisoners of war. So that's an asset. Being able to mobilize the West African coalition and making them to all agree together to fight collectively is also a big plus.
That also includes the Chad Basin.
The Chad Basin countries, exactly, and the multinational task force. Getting European countries and US before were reluctant to support us because of issues with the professionalism of our military, but now they are supporting us. So on that count, excellent.
Okay, because he...
But when sorry.
Yeah, he spoke about, during his inaugural speech,
yeah,
you know, he mentioned the kidnappings, the armed robbery, the herdsmen, farmers clashes.
Yeah, I'm going to go
those existed
I'm
at
going
the
to
time.
go to those 6 ones, the other 6. With regards to the Fulani Herdsmen, I must confess that I will score the president and the administration a minus mark, not even 0.
Why?
And the reasons why I would do that is, if you look at the number, in 2014, we had 1,200 deaths from the Fulani Herdsmen. It has reduced to about 500 to 700 during Buhari's 1 year in administration, but with a caveat, it is more widespread. Before Buhari came in, it was limited to the north-central states, but now more than 28 states are involved in this Fulani Herdsmen, and they do it with impunity. And we have had very, very little prosecution or even arrest of anybody. And it took the president almost a year to make a public statement denouncing this Fulani Herdsmen. While he was, in fact, one of the first things he did was a push against the cattle rustlers. But when it comes to Fulani Herdsmen, he had not come out as a soldier to say this is wrong, and even to address his kinsmen, because he's from the same tribe, especially on BBC Hausa or any of those languages, that what you guys are doing, my government doesn't support it.
Colonel, okay.
Sorry, let me come to you, Dr. Ejide. You know, you've been in the military, you rose to the rank of a colonel before you left. You know, sometimes when you send some military officers or men and officers to quell insurrection, what comes to mind is the love for country as against your ethnic affiliation or your religious bias. If you listen to what Prof has said now, he's thinking that the president hasn't been firm on the issue of the herdsmen, whether they are Fulanis or of any extraction. What do you think about that?
Now, this is one area where I say that making an assessment of this nation has to be very, very professional. The job of Mr. President is not the job of the service or the operational commanders. He is the commander-in-chief, he's at the political head of policy. So what actually he does is a matter of policy, matter of giving directive to those who are the operational heads. So he doesn't have to do more than give that directive, but he will only have to get feedback to enable him to see whether there should be adjustment in policies or support to those who are in the field.
Doesn't everything rise and fall in that leadership?
That is where the challenge is really. A lot of us want to put everything on the leader. When you do that, you are going to miss the point, because the leader alone cannot do everything. The leader's job stops at giving you directive and giving you support and asking for, results. That was why some time ago, when the president gave this directive that the service chiefs should go and ensure that they defeat Boko Haram in 3 months, that is what you call the strategic end state. That is expected from the president. But having done that, it is left to those who are the commanders, who are the professionals, to go and work out a plan that can achieve that result. And in the course of working at that plan, if they have needs for logistic support or any other kind of support, then they make that request to the Mr. President. And if Mr. President is not able to give what they need to prosecute that operation, that is where you can put blame on Mr. President. I think in this country, we are too much at criticizing our leaders in a way that it will appear as if the leader must divide himself into all of these responsibilities. It shouldn't be so. We should place responsibilities where it is.
Is it yet time for the military to move in against the marauding herdsmen, or is still within the purview of the police?